Hello everyone, welcome to JKSSB Mock by Toppers. In this video, we'll be covering the important current affairs for 21st and 22nd of July. Let's begin. Who won the men's singles title at the Japan Open 2025? As you can see in this image, this guy won the Japan Open men's singles title and his name is Shi Yuki. He is from China. He defeated Denmark's Victor Axelsen. So Shi Yuki won the men's singles title at Japan Open. This Japan Open is related to badminton. Also remember An Si Young, option B, An Si Young. She is from South Korea. She was the winner of women's singles title. In a landmark move to eliminate malaria by 2030, ICMR initiated the commercialization of which indigenously developed vaccine targeting Plasmodium falciparum? So the right answer would be option B, Adfalcivax. Developed by ICMR Odisha for elimination of malaria, they have now started the commercialization. They have now invited the expression of interest for private companies to produce commercially this vaccine so that the malaria in India can be eliminated by 2030. Remember the name of the vaccine? Adfalcivax. This type of question has assertion and a reason. We have to analyze the statements and answer the given options. Starting with the assertion, as compared to the southern states, North Indian states led the tea export growth in financial year 24-25. These regions received high rainfall and soil is slightly alkaline, which supports higher production. If we start the assertion, North Indian states did lead the tea export growth in 24-25. North Indian states showed an increase in the export of 8.15%, whereas South Indian states showed a decrease of 4.92% from the previous year. So this assertion is right. These regions received high rainfall and soil is slightly alkaline, which supports higher production. No, soil should not be alkaline. For tea production, the soil should be acidic, more so in the acidic range, pH range of 4.5 to 5.5. And receiving high rainfall, that again does not support tea production. It should be moderate rainfall, 150 to 250 centimeter per year. So assertion is right and reason is wrong, which means option C is correct. Also remember, India showed an increase of 2.85% in its total export of tea for the financial year 24-25. As part of the SBS-3 program, what is the total number of satellites India plans to deploy for surveillance by 2029? SBS stands for Space Based Surveillance. So India is planning to deploy at least the total number of 52 satellites by 2029. Out of this, 21 will be deployed by Indian Space Research Organization and the rest 31 will be deployed by the private firms. Right now in India, there are many private giants that are doing well in space sector, such as Tata Advanced Systems, one is Anand Tech, such as Godrej Aerospace. Also, remember a new startup, Skyroot. Skyroot became the first private agency to launch a rocket into space. The rocket was named Vikram. Vikram S. ये इन्होंने 2020 में अचीव किया था. So there are many private firms currently in the space business that are going to launch 31 satellites in the space for surveillance, and ISRO is going to launch 21 among them. Let's move forward. Recently, NSDL Payments Bank was added to the second schedule of RBI Act 1934. What key benefit does a bank receive upon inclusion in the second schedule? Just remember this name, NSDL. Let me write the full form here. National Securities Depository Limited. So NSDL Payments Bank has been added to the second schedule of RBI Act 1934. Now we have to say what benefit does it receive upon inclusion in the second schedule. Option A, it becomes eligible to issue credit cards without RBI approval. No. It is allowed to accept foreign deposits from retail customer. No. Option D is exempted from maintaining the cash reserve ratio. This is also wrong. The right answer is option C. Now, when a bank is added to the second schedule of the RBI Act, it becomes eligible for direct loans from the RBI. It also becomes, among other things, becomes eligible for RBI's liquidity facility, which means it can get cash from from RBI during emergencies. So remember, NSDL Payments Bank has become the fifth payments bank to be added to the second schedule of RBI Act 1934. During his visit in July 2025, PM Modi became the guest of honor at which country's 60th Independence Day. 60th Independence Day was recently celebrated by Maldives and PM Modi was the guest of honor. So, what is the capital of Maldives? It is Male. And who is the president of Maldives? Dr. Muizu. 60th Independence Day was celebrated by Maldives will be celebrated on 26th July. Under which article of Indian Constitution can the Vice President resign by submitting a letter to the President? So recently, Vice President of India, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankarji, has resigned from his chair citing health issues. Now we have to say under which article does a Vice President resign? And Vice President resigns by submitting a letter to President. Article 56, option A, it deals with the President of India and the tenure of President. Article 75B deals with ministers or cabinet of ministers and Prime Minister. Article 61A deals with impeachment of President, a removal of President. So the correct answer would be option C. Under Article 67A, the Vice President resigns by submitting his letter to the President. Now, if a President has to resign, to whom does he submit his resignation? He submits his resignation to the Vice President of India. Also, keep this in mind, Jagdeep Dhankarji was the 14th Vice President of India. Before this, only two Vice Presidents have resigned during their tenure, first being V.V. Giri and second being R. Venkatraman. So Jagdeep Dhankarji is the third Vice President to resign during his tenure. In July 2025, SBI raised 25,000 crore through a method where shares were privately placed with large institutional investors like LIC and mutual funds. What is this method called? So LIC has raised 25,000 crores through a method. We have to name the method. In this method, shares were privately given to the large institutions like LIC and mutual funds. Let's analyze these options. What is initial public offering? Suppose कोई company है, for the first time it goes public and is listed in the share market ताकि उसके shares बिक सके, तो it's called initial public offering. So this does not apply to the SBI. Follow on public offer. A company है that already has shares in the market and now it is giving away more shares to raise money, but in the share market. So this thing was done by SBI for raising money, 25,000 crore. No. Rights issue. Already say a company has given shares away and say this A and B person have these shares. Now the company would go again to A कि भाई आप हमारे और shares ले लो, और B के पास जाएंगे आप हमारे और shares ले लो. But this also does not apply to the SBI in this case. In this case, this method is called qualified institutional placements. SBI simply goes to the big players like LIC and tells them to buy a certain stake in the company. In this case, 9.49% was bought by LIC for 5,000 crores in SBI. इससे क्या होता है कि without selling their shares in the open market, they directly go to these big investors and get their money in. इनको बहुत शॉर्ट टाइम में ही पैसे मिल जाते हैं एंड इट सेव्स टाइम ऑफ द पेपर वर्क्स दैट हैज़ टू बी डन थ्रू सेबी। और शेयर मार्केट में अपने शेयर्स को, इफ SBI would have gone for this conventional method, once the shares would have been increased in the share market, उनका प्राइस गिर जाता क्योंकि सप्लाई बढ़ जाती। So to save all this hassle, this thing, and to get money in short time, SBI just went directly to the LIC and asked for money. LIC got 9.49% stake, and this method is called qualified institutional placements. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस एग्जाम में नहीं आएंगे, बट थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग है तो रख देता हूँ मैं यहाँ पे। NISAR is the first Earth observation satellite to be developed jointly by. So NISAR stands for NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. This will be jointly developed by ISRO and NASA. Now, what is radar? Radio detection एंड रेंजिंग। तो ये जो सैटेलाइट लॉन्च करेगी यहाँ पर इसरो एंड नासा जॉइंटली, ये हेल्प करेगा टू ऑब्जर्व द अर्थ। एंड व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशंस विल इट डू एक्चुअली ऑन आफ्टर गोइंग द स्पेस? It will provide information on a number of things. First one would be the melting of the glaciers. Second one would be development of cracks on Earth's surface or beneath the Earth's surface. It will also provide information about the crops, condition of crops. Actually, इसमें दो radar waves का use किया जाएगा. Let me clear everything here. Two radar waves will be used in this. One radar wave will be L band and another would be S band. This L band wave जो radar wave जो है, ये ज़मीन के अंदर जाके डिटेक्ट करेगी एनी चेंज इन द अर्थ सरफेस, जिससे हमें पता लगेगा कि क्या कहीं पे कोई क्रैक तो डेवलप नहीं हो रहा है, जिससे अर्थक्वेक्स को हम प्रिडिक्ट तो नहीं कर सकते एक तरीके से, लेकिन ये बोल सकते हैं कि कहाँ पे हो सकता है अर्थक्वेक्स। This will also, with the help of S-band radar, be able to take HD, high resolution images of the Earth's surface. तो अर्थ के beneath भी जाएगा और अर्थ के सरफेस पे भी ये काम करेगा. And is developed by jointly by ISRO and NASA. This here you can see in this image is GSLV F-16. जियोसिंक्रोनस लॉन्च व्हीकल F-16, ये इंडिया का डेवलप्ड किया हुआ लॉन्च व्हीकल है. विद दिस हेल्प ऑफ दिस लॉन्च व्हीकल, दिस निसार सैटेलाइट विल बी launched in the orbit. Also remember, it's a sun synchronous satellite. Who is set to host the FID World Chess Cup 2025? So this FID World Chess Cup will be hosted by India after a gap of 23 years. Last time India hosted it in 2002. Now after a gap of 23 years, India will be hosting it in 2025. International Chess Federation World Chess Cup. Total इसमें 206 players part लेंगे. Top players from around the world. What is the official theme of World Brain Day 2025 observed on July 22nd? So the official theme for the World Brain Day is option C, brain health for all ages. How many spokes are there in Ashok Chakra of Indian flag? Tiranga Day is celebrated every year on 22nd of July. इसी के रिगार्डिंग ये क्वेश्चन है, अशोक चक्र में कितने स्पोक्स है? एवरी वन ऑफ यू मस्ट बी नोइंग. आई जस्ट वांट टू रिमाइंड यू दैट 22nd July is Indian Flag Day and there are 24 chakras in the Ashok chakras in the Indian flag that represent progress throughout the 24 hours of the day. So remember, 22nd July is Indian Flag Day. What is the Codex Alimentarius Commission primarily responsible for? Codex Alimentarius Commission एक इंटरनेशनल बॉडी है जो स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाती है फॉर फूड. This body is jointly established by FAO and WHO. फूड एंड एग्रीकल्चर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड WHO ने ये जॉइंटली ये बॉडी एस्टैब्लिश की है, कोडेक्स एलिमेंटेरियस कमीशन, जो डिनोट करती है स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉर फूड थ्रू अराउंड द वर्ल्ड. अभी रिसेंटली इसलिए न्यूज़ में था बिकॉज इंडिया वॉज गिवन अ चेयर, इंडिया को हेड बनाया गया था फॉर डिटरमाइनिंग द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ मिलेट्स. तो यही हमें ऑप्शन क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है, व्हाट इज द कोडेक्स एलिमेंट्री कमीशन प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर प्रमोटिंग ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, नो. रेगुलेटिंग ग्लोबल फूड प्राइसिंग तो नहीं. सेटिंग इंटरनेशनल फूड सेफ्टी एंड क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स, कंट्रोलिंग फूड सब्सिडीज, नो. द राइट आंसर है सेटिंग इंटरनेशनल फूड सेफ्टी एंड क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स. इंडिया वॉज गिवन द चेयर फॉर स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ मिलेट्स, मतलब इंडिया यहाँ पे प्रोवाइड करेगा मिलेट्स के रिलेटिंग कुछ स्टैंडर्ड्स, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कि मॉइस्चर कितना होना चाहिए इसमें. एंड देन दिस कोडेक्स एलिमेंट्री कमीशन, दिस विल एनालाइज, ये फिर इन जो इंडिया यहाँ पर इनिशिएट करेगा स्टैंडर्ड्स, तो उन सब को एनालाइज करके फिर इसको एक्सेप्ट या रिजेक्ट कर सकते हैं. अब इसमें चेयर होने का ये फ़ायदा है कि इंडिया अपने हिसाब से जो मिलेट्स हमें यहाँ पे प्रोड्यूस होती है, जो उनके क्वालिटीज़ होती है, उसके हिसाब से ही हम अपना स्टैंडर्ड यहाँ पे प्रमोट करेंगे. तो अगर ये एक्सेप्ट होता है तो हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि हम आराम से अपने मिलेट्स जो है वो बाकी कंट्रीज़ में एक्सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये कोडेक्स एलिमेंट्रीज कमीशन जो स्टैंडर्ड सेट करेगा, दैट हैज़ टू बी एक्सेप्टेड बाय मोस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. इट इज़ नॉट नेसेसरली, बट नाउ everyone accepts these standards. So India becoming a chair for standard of making of millets is a very big thing. Remember, Codex Alimentarius Commission jointly by FAO and WHO, and setting international food safety and quality standards. I hope you understood. What percentage of Indian adults had a financial account as per Global Findex 2025? This report was released by the World Bank, and according to this report, around 90% of Indian adults had financial accounts as per Global Findex. लेकिन among this 90%, 16% accounts were inactive. So financial accounts होने में हम 90% आगे है, but still 16% of accounts are inactive. INS Ajay Yard 3035 launched on 21st July 2025 belongs to which class of ships? So we have to say this INS Ajay that was launched on 21st July belongs to which class of ships? It is an anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. मतलब जो भी shallow waters में submarines होंगी उनको डिटेक्ट करना एंड उनको डिस्ट्रॉय करना, that will be the work of INS Ajay. Actually, there are total 8 number of anti-shallow watercraft, anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft ships that will be given to the Indian Navy, and this is the last one of it. This is the 8th. The first one was INS Arnala. Also remember very one technical term here. यहाँ पे लिखा है launched. आपने सुना होगा कमीशन. लॉन्च का मतलब होता है जब भी कोई शिप जो पहली बार जिसको पानी में डाल दिया जाए, दैट इज़ नोन एज लॉन्च्ड. कमीशन शिप तभी होती है जब इस पर फिर टेस्टिंग होगी इन रियल वाटर्स, एंड वंस इट्स फिट फॉर यूज देन इट विल बी कमीशनड. So for INS Ajay, it has been launched on 21st July 2025 and is an ASW shallow water craft. So thanks for connecting. See you in the next video.